Welcome back to Happy Hour here on the Filmaholic channel. We have this every Friday. We break down movie news for you guys. We have some good topics to talk about today, but not too many. To start things off, I guess we want to jump into Star Wars like usual, because we have, like most weeks, at least multiple topics, a couple of topics here about Star Wars. The first one I'll go ahead and talk about is the shortest one, and it's that The Mandalorian Season 3 is in development. Favreau has apparently been writing it for a while. I know as someone who hasn't even watched the first season yet, you're super excited.
I can't wait. When the show ends, I'll get to it, I think.
Oh, man.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, this makes me happy. Not only, was I a fan of the first season, looking forward to the second. So, knowing that we're getting a 3 is cool. But what really excites me about this is, and especially because he's been writing it for a while too, it's not just like something that's like, hey, we're going to make season 3, but nothing's been worked on yet. Like, the dude, he's finishing up like stuff with editing and everything for season 2, and he's already writing season 3. That's incredible. And that shows me that he at least has a vision over there of what he's doing. Like, he has his own plan. It's not really being affected by anything else. Other than, I do think, Dave Filoni's a producer on that show. Dave Filoni made the final season of Clone Wars, and I think that's definitely going to tie into probably Mandalorian Season 2 more than anything, I think, because, that was already done a long time ago. So I think that will tie into Mandalorian Season 2. I know they set some stuff up in the final season with Ahsoka and Mandalore and stuff as far as Clone Wars goes, what I've been hearing anyways. I haven't seen it. So I think that's how I was going to explain when she comes in Season 2. But yeah, it excites me. He has a vision over there.
Yeah, I'll get to it.
Yeah, you need to do that soon. The next big topic is that Leslie Headland, the creator of the show Russian Doll, which I have not seen, but she also wrote and directed Sleeping with Other People, which I have seen and really enjoyed that film. She will be developing a new Star Wars show for Disney Plus, which is rumored to be female-centric, a thriller too, and a different time and location than The Mandalorian. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'll wait for a trailer. I watch Sleeping with Other People, and I don't get the vibes that Star Wars is going to be incredible.
But you like that movie, right?
I like the movie, but it's not a thriller, and it's not Star Wars.
Right, but I haven't seen Russian Doll. Have you?
I'll pass. No, thank you.
And I assume that's probably a thriller, and that's why they're getting that rumored genre for the show. I don't know, though, because, like I said, I haven't seen the show. But, that doesn't tell me she can't make a different genre. It doesn't show me that she can, but she has made a good movie at least, so that's something. The Russo brothers, they made comedies before they came over and started doing their stuff in the MCU. So I don't know. To me, I'm not excited because I don't know what the show is. You give me this description or whatever, I don't care because it's in the terms of Star Wars, and I want to know what it is. That's what's going to get me excited.
And if it's good made.
And if it even... There's been so much announced with Star Wars now. They're becoming just like WB, Warner Brothers with DC stuff. It's like you keep announcing stuff, and you keep announcing people attached to it, but I don't hear any development on it. Then we heard just a couple months ago about that guy who directed that Card movie that we were talking about on here. I can't remember what the Card movie was. But that he was going to be directing the next Star Wars film.
See, I've already forgotten it.
I can't remember what the film was. Slight. He directed Slight. And that he was supposed to be directing the next Star Wars movie. I haven't heard any more development on that at all. And if he was which, we do have the coronavirus that adds shut production stuff down, but we're still getting other news. And that was a while ago that it was announced, we should have heard more about what that is by now, I think. And there was also the stuff with Taika, which I don't think is true at all now. Yeah, I don't know. to me, my main hope with this is that it's a Kira show. Kira Mall, whatever.
I haven't.
It would not only would it tie in too with Clone Wars and Rebels and that kind of different stuff with Maul, but it's set, the people that want a Solo 2, the people that want a continuation, just a continuation of that story, like me, you get that with this, and it is female centric. I feel like that could be a thriller, definitely. And it's in a different time than The Mandalorian. And I don't know what they mean by location, because The Mandalorian doesn't take place in one spot. There's that one planet that the series opens and ends with, but he goes to several different planets within that show. So I would hope they were just talking about different planets, because this whole idea of Star Wars taking place in a different galaxy or something than what we already know, like, that doesn't interest me, because at that point, I don't know why you're calling it Star Wars anymore. Just go make a different space, whatever. And yeah, but yeah. I mean, if you tell me it's Kira, I'm excited. You tell me it's some random new character in a different 1,000 years in the future in a different galaxy, I don't care. So we'll see if this ever has movement. But who knows when Kenobi's coming out? Could be 2022. This keeps getting pushed back. Cassian Andor, I thought, was supposed to come out like this year, and it's still no trailer.
Don't worry about it.
People still getting announced it's going to be in it. I don't know if it's already been filmed. Like, have they already filmed their stuff and it's just getting announced, or they're going to be put in it? I don't know what's going on.
Surprise drop next week.
It's crazy. The next Star Wars story is not really news, but just like something I want to touch upon. John Boyega apparently snapped back at a fan on social media, and I don't even know what social media was. I'm assuming Twitter. The fan said The Rise of Skywalker was an embarrassment. John Boyega, his quote was, "Embarrassing, LOL, you wish. Very fulfilling. Some disappointments, but yet not a bit that big of a deal. Everyone has moved on."
It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but
It's a pretty big deal when you were trashing it a few weeks ago.
Right, and it's like, I think you're just trying to take a step back. Like, you heard some bad feedback from when you trashed it, probably people around you.
Disney is like, yo, you want a career or not?
Yeah, I don't understand, like, this part of the LOL you wish. Like, why would anyone? And I understand there's people out there that wanted The Rise of Skywalker to be bad. Like,
yeah, that's what they deserved.
For whatever reason, like, you watched Last Jedi, you didn't like it, or you did like Last Jedi, and because JJ was coming back, you didn't want Rise of Skywalker to be good. Whatever the reasoning was, it's stupid. But it just seems weird to me. And it was an embarrassment. And, even he says in this, some disappointments, but yet not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Any kind of, it is a big deal because it's the last film in the saga.
I disagree. It was a huge deal.
Everyone has moved on. I mean, I feel like in that sense, it's like, first of all, no, they haven't, because there's a lot of fans who are very upset still. Like, the casual person, sure. But, that's not going to be corrected. That's the end of the saga. Forever. Unless you make a 10th film down the line, which I hope you don't. Which I can pretend Last Jedi is the last film, and that's fine. But in reality, that film was made, and it is a big deal. And, people, when you say people have moved on, I feel like it's like there's no way to change it. So they just, okay, it is what it is.
It's what it is.
But it is a big deal. Next one here, the next little story is, I know, one that you'll be excited to talk about, and that's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark 2 is being made with the same director.
Good.
Were you a fan of this?
Yeah, dude.
Really? I thought you didn't like that movie.
Yeah, but 3.5, man.
I think Sarah watched it. She said she didn't like it.
Yeah, maybe Sarah didn't like it. I had fun.
I did not watch it.
Did I read the book as a kid?
I read the stories, yeah, several of them. But I mean, I nothing really grabbed me from what I seen from the marketing. It looked okay, and I was probably gonna go see it, but it was around the time when I moved, so like I just didn't have a chance to go see it. But
I had both.
it's
I liked it.
that's good then. I didn't realize it made a good amount of money apparently to get a sequel.
Bunch of 90s kids going to see it.
We were talking about Tarantino before we did this video. Tarantino recently spoke about the Gimp in Pulp Fiction. Did you read that?
Yeah.
The Gimp, the person in that costume, actually was a hitchhiker that these guys got.
Prior.
Yeah, and he also revealed that the Gimp died in the movie, which is something you really don't get when you watch it. I just thought he got knocked out, but I mean he did get knocked out, but then he ended up hanging himself. So not a whole lot of news there, but it's interesting.
Bruce Willis murdered him too. Messed up, dude. Savage.
I like that he's coming out and speaking more about some of his movies and giving a little insight.
20 years later.
Yeah. He did something else recently. I can't remember what it was.
Once upon a time.
Also, Universal has snagged the Lego franchise from Warner Brothers in a 5-year deal. That happened this week.
Hey, go for it, dude. Make whatever you want.
So Warner Brothers, they made 4 Lego movies. I mean, theatrical release Lego movies. There's a bunch of other stuff, like straight to video that I guess they put out too. But yeah, so they made the Lego movie. They made the Lego movie 2. They made Lego Batman and Lego Ninjago.
Yep.
Which I've seen all of those, actually.
I didn't watch it.
It was not good. I did not like it. I've only seen the Batman one once. I wasn't a huge fan of that. It was okay.
Beautiful.
The first Lego movie was really good, and the second one was not bad. It was okay. So I don't know like the exact details with this with Universal getting it. Does this mean they can make a Lego movie 3?
I guess.
Or does it have to be a reboot?
You only got 5 years to do it.
It's interesting.
I'll watch it, I guess.
I mean, I would think, if I was Universal, I would probably, I don't know. I guess I would look at the numbers for Lego Movie 2, and if it was successful, I would go ahead and push forward with Lego Movie 3 and probably also something else. But that's the thing, though, with Universal getting it, I don't know the contracts in terms of Lego and stuff, because a lot of those characters that were in the films, like the background characters, and obviously Batman, are WB property.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna get like a Lego Batman sequel. I don't know what else. I mean, they could take a Universal property and make it Lego, but then like, what are you gonna do in terms of that?
Rated R.
Fast and the Furious Lego version.
Hey, you wait.
You can make it. Yeah, I mean, there is some stuff that could be fun. You Fast and the Furious, Jurassic Park, Transformers.
Yes.
Which actually you can, I don't know, you can make a Lego type movie and then actual have like Transformers in there, like Transformer toys that aren't Legos, but are like with the Legos in the movie. Could be an idea. But yeah, I don't know. Like a lot of those other characters, like the Justice League characters, the Harry Potter characters, Lord of the Rings, all those that were featured in those old movies, you can't have those in a Universal one.
Not unless they put it in the contract.
Right. And I can't imagine that they would, especially Batman. Yeah, I definitely don't think he's going over. And speaking of WB, we got a couple here with them. First, the Batman was pushed from its June 2021 release date to October 2021. So not that big of a difference. Like, it's nothing to be really freaked out about. It's just a matter of a few months. Still coming out the same year. It was still a ways away. So
I like October better anyway.
yeah. I don't know all right now. Well, I know the movie we'll talk about in the next and here in a minute took the Batman spot, but other than that, I don't know what else is coming out in next summer. Probably a lot that's getting taken off and pushing to next summer from this year. But if you remember Ben Affleck's Batman when he was going to make that movie, and they put out all those release dates for those old DC movies that never happened. That movie was supposed to come out in October. They originally were going to put Batman in October. And then when Matt Reeves came on and they changed some stuff up, they moved it to that June 2021 release date. So now they're going back to October. Like you, I like the release date. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if it was a summer release because I feel like Batman, based off my memory, has always been summer. Outside of, I mean, not his movies, like the two Zack Snyder films that he was in. But part of me is like, putting this in October also signals more of a seriousness to it, like an Oscar type, but not really. That was my first thought because of it being in the fall. But I mean, you had Venom, the first film, in October, so it definitely wasn't an Oscar type movie. But I'm hoping that this October month being around Halloween, for two things. I'm hoping, one, that it fits the tone of the movie. And then I'm not just saying the long Halloween stuff, because I actually don't think it's going to be a long Halloween movie. I think they'll take elements from it, but The Dark Knight also took elements. So I think that's where we're going. I don't think it's going to be like an adaptation of the long Halloween. And I hope it's not, honestly.
I just want Solomon Grundy at some point. Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Hot take.
He's not really a character that I'm. Maybe here's how I would want to see a character like that. Like, maybe you have the second one, and the movie opens up with him taking on a case and fighting him, and that's like the opening villain.
That's all I want is just a quick moments.
I don't want him as a villain, the main villain of the movie.
You're not getting Solomon Grundy as a main villain, dude. Wouldn't mind the Mad Hatter.
I don't know.
I can see people we haven't seen before. Is what I want.
Well, I don't know how many of his villains that we haven't ever seen before that I do want to see. There was one main one, but we got that this year, and they didn't do a very good job, I don't think. And that was Black Mask. That was like the main Batman villain I wanted to see him go up against that we hadn't seen. And it didn't happen. So at this point, I mean, I'm really excited that we're going to see the Riddler again, because we hadn't seen him since the 95 version, and that was a very Joel Schumacher, not serious version. So definitely, honestly, any of those from those movies that we didn't see in Nolan's film, I'd be happy to see again. Like, the fact that we're getting the Penguin again, I'm excited about that. The Riddler. Mr. Freeze and Poison Ivy are ones that they could do again. I mean, obviously they weren't handled well in that movie, so
watch it, buddy.
I think that you could do that again, and it could be interesting. To me, and I'll always say this: like, if Matt Reeves is making a Batman trilogy, I do think the Joker needs to be in there, because he's his main villain. But I'm glad he's not in this first film. And I don't even really need him in the second one. I feel like you should probably mention him in the second one or tease him. But at least by the third film, I want the Joker in there. Which I'm still predicting that Lakeith Stanfield's going to be the Joker. I think that's going to happen.
Not for me. But
I think it's good casting if that happens. I think it'll work. I think he's the right age to go up against Pattinson's Batman. I think it'll probably fit the vibe of this trilogy that they're going with. And I mean, I haven't not liked any of his performances so far.
Just let Adam Sandler do it, man.
The Joker?
Yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna get mad about it, but I don't see him as the Joker. I would love to have seen him in the Batman movie. I would have loved to seen him as the Riddler or Penguin. When Jonah Hill passed, which I still would have liked to have seen that, but when that happened, I was like, please go after Sandler for the Riddler, please, or the Penguin. I mean, but I mean the casting of Paul Dano and Colin Farrell. I mean, both of them are going to be good, I think. Depending on, we don't know what this movie is going to be like yet, because we're all getting excited for it.
It'd be awful.
Expecting, the last two Apes movies, the Nolan trilogy in mind, and it could come out and just be like the other DC movies that we're getting right now. And that's how depressing is that going to be?
You're not getting any hope from me.
You're not excited for this movie?
I will hold my excitement. Told you I don't trust DC, man. You're not getting me like that.
Well, what excites me with this is that it seems like they're letting him do his movie the way he wants to do it, and letting him make these casting decisions the way he wants. At least what we think of. So far, what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably would have went after somebody else other than Paul Dano for the Riddler.
They're not casting Paul Dano.
So that gives me hope. Same thing with Colin Farrell. This isn't 2002 anymore, so I think I don't know how many studios are like looking at him to cast.
A good amount though, hasn't he?
He's what?
Hasn't he worked with WB a good amount though?
I mean, he was in that first Harry Potter spinoff, so which they apparently everyone liked him in that movie, and then they did the reveal that he was actually Johnny Depp. Yeah. So yeah, speaking of Batman, there's another one here I want to talk about. Darren Aronofsky originally was supposed to make a Batman film in the early 2000s after Batman and Robin, when they were trying to. That movie obviously failed. It was awful. They decided to redo Batman. They brought him in, and he was going to do a adaptation of Batman Year One. And he had obviously a certain vision in mind. He wanted it to be like that comic. He wanted the grittiness. I don't know if he said he wanted it R-rated, but I'm sure he would have if they would have let him. But definitely very dark. And he revealed recently that he wanted Joaquin Phoenix to play Batman in his movie. What do you think?
I don't know.
I mean, ultimately, I'm glad it didn't happen. Because if it did happen, we wouldn't have the Dark Knight trilogy. And to me, that's two perfect films and an excellent film.
I don't know why you wouldn't win after Leo, early 2000s.
Well, two things. One, Leo's not going to do it.
That's what you think.
So that's number one. And two, I mean, I don't know. People have different actors in their mind as who they want, and I don't know, Joaquin Phoenix as Bruce Wayne back in that time, I think it would have been good casting. I don't know if he could have got built like Christian Bale did, but I think he definitely could have played that billionaire playboy.
He missed to the role, so he probably would have.
No, Leo was offered a couple different things. I can't remember. I feel like Sony.
Batman.
Not Batman, but I know Sony wanted him for Spider-Man. But he didn't want to do that. And then George Lucas wanted him for Attack of the Clones. For Anakin, which, oh man.
He was like, nah. You're not getting me.
I wish that would have happened. That would have been just so good. Because also, nothing against Hayden Christensen. I'd like to see him come back. but he was somebody who needed a lot of direction. I don't think Leo's like that. He would have given a really good performance despite not having that direction.
You would have just wasted Leo in those two movies, though. Especially Attack of the Clones, you just
Attack of the Clones in general, but
wasted it.
You just imagine Leo in those Revenge of the Sith scenes.
Murdering kids.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's not all the story. Did you read who WB wanted?
Oh, I'll tell you something. That's the whole story, man. He killed the kids. You're not defending this guy.
Did you see who WB wanted to play Batman?
No.
They wanted
Owen Wilson? It should be.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah, oh yeah, I did see that.
And nothing against Freddie Prinze.
Surprising me. Back in the day, you were pushing that. That's who you were pushing in everything.
But I could not stop laughing when I read that in the article. It's like, oh man, for Batman, that's who you wanted?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in like a serious role, so I don't. That's what's hard for me to like get my mind around it.
I've seen him.
He looks the part.
I've seen him in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Is that serious though? That seems real campy.
I was more serious than Scream.
I
don't think
that too. If you're gonna do Freddie Prinze Jr. or anything,
give you what?
She's all that too.
They're gonna remake that, dude. It's gonna happen.
You're not remaking that.
And they'll do some spin on it. It'll be the other way around or something. But yeah, and then so apparently after this happened and WB said they wanted Freddie Prinze Jr., Aronofsky was like, "Oh, we clearly want two different things here. These are not the same movies." Which is interesting because WB didn't end up making that movie with Freddie Prinze. I'm surprised they didn't just find a different director to make it with that actor. But they waited a couple years and then they got Nolan and Christian Bale. So the next topic here is another one. Well, actually, before we get to that one, I'll talk about this first. They're making a Hunger Games prequel.
I don't care.
I don't care either. I only watched the first Hunger Games and I wasn't pleased with that one. So
just watch Battle Royale.
But I thought I'd throw that in there. Also going with WB, Tenet plans to keep its July 17th release date unless theaters are closed.
Yeah, they're going to be closed.
I really hope not. I'm hoping they open up by at least the 4th of July. Yeah, I think they need to open back up. And I think this is a smart decision. It's a good movie to kick off, bring people back into the theaters. But it's interesting that they're in a time of, they're unsure whether they are going to be open, and they're still keeping it on that release date. They're really banking off the fact that it's Christopher Nolan. Because really, you haven't revealed anything in your trailers. So I don't know. I feel like, if I was in this situation where it's uncertainty, I would move it at this point, because do you want to leave it there and that be the first week in the theaters open? I would.
Nobody.
I'd want the theaters to be at least open 2 weeks before this movie comes out.
But then people might want to just leave the house, so maybe.
Yeah. But it's also, I don't know. It's a longer film too, I would assume. Probably his movies are released 2.5 hours, so we'll see. Going back to, I wanted to say that one last. Tarantino pitched a James Bond film. I should have said this earlier with the other Tarantino thing, but he pitched a James Bond film to Pierce Brosnan back after the release of Kill Bill Volume 1. He was doing the press stuff for that, and he met with him at a bar in a hotel, and they got drunk together, and he pitched a James Bond movie to him.
Yeah. Apparently it wasn't good.
It wasn't good?
Apparently not. It didn't get made.
I don't know if Tarantino ever had discussions with the people that were making James Bond.
Pierce Brosnan is like, nah, stay in my James Bond career here.
I definitely think he would have came back and made another James Bond if Tarantino had been on making.
What else has he got going on? What do you mean? It wouldn't matter what director. He's coming back.
I don't know too much about his career. I don't know if it was his decision to leave the James Bond franchise.
If you don't know too much about their career, I doubt they had a major career. Miss Doubtfire. That's what I
still would have cast him as Alfred. Yeah, but didn't happen. But this is a situation where I would love to see this. I'm not a James Bond fan too much, like that big a fan. There's a couple movies I like of those, but overall I'm not a huge fan. But like you tell me Tarantino is making that, yeah, that excites me. But that's the people that own James Bond. There's no way they're giving Tarantino a movie.
Not getting rated R.
Exactly. So
skip it.
If only. They also Colin Trevorrow released a new pic from Jurassic World Dominion. It was a picture of the snow. They're in a snowy setting. Did you see that?
Good. I'm glad we're changing it.
Yeah. Didn't do anything for me. Dinosaurs in the snow, I guess cool.
Another series holding out. I'm not going to have any hope for.
No, the last one was terrible. And I don't like, while, like you said, we're in a different setting, you're changing it up. That is somewhat exciting. I don't know. I have certain expectations going into this movie. Even though the last one was bad, when I was thinking about the making of this movie, I was hoping it was going to be taking place, obviously, in America when the dinosaurs are coming here. I don't know. I was thinking it would probably be in like Los Angeles. I know there were scenes in like Vegas at the after credit scene of the last movie. Did you watch that?
It could be anywhere. Because they sold dinosaurs to different people.
Yeah, but that's what worries me. I don't know how much I want a movie where it's like a Jurassic World movie where it's like taking place all over the world and we're jumping around.
World, man.
Yeah, I know, and I'm probably not gonna like the movie. I mean, you show me this picture in the snow. Is the whole movie gonna take place in this setting? Because if so, all right, that's what we're getting. But maybe it is. Maybe Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, and this girl. What was the picture? Was that the girl from the last one?
I thought so.
I don't know, because I didn't care about that character anyways. But maybe they go off up north somewhere in the snow, and they're like hiding out, trying to get away from the dinosaurs, and that's where the movie's going to take place. But then you're also telling me that the original character is coming back, and you also got like the supporting characters from the last one that no one cared about, the younger people that were like assistants. I don't know how big a capacity any of these characters are going to be in the movie. It's just, I don't know. Is Blue coming back? Are we still having like, are we following certain dinosaurs? Is going to be dinosaurs everywhere? Like, I don't know what the angle of this movie is. I don't know. I like one setting for Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, whatever.
You'll watch it and you'll like it.
Like, the fact if you show me that they're spreading all over the world, yeah, I'm for that. But like overall, I think the movie should take place in one spot. Maybe it does. I don't know, but we haven't even got a trailer yet. This movie is supposed to come out next year, right?
It's not happening.
You don't think this is coming out next year?
I just no hope, man. I don't have any hope for any movie coming out whenever it's supposed to at this point.
It's supposed to come out June 11th, 2021. I think it'll stay to the release date. But if it does get pushed back, I still think it'll come out next year. It could possibly get pushed back to Christmas next year, which I don't know. They have Avatar coming out, so maybe not. But fuck that movie.
Then you'll like it.
Let's talk about Venom. We got two, 3-ish more topics here. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. First of all, they moved the release date off this year, which October, which they just said recently they were planning on keeping the release date, and I guess changed their minds. They moved it to June 25th, which was the spot that Batman originally had. So it's coming out next summer. And obviously the title is Let There Be Carnage. I think it's a terrible title. You like it.
I just said I don't mind it.
To me, it's clunky to me. I don't know. Like,
you thought it was Let There Be Carnage. There will be carnage.
Either way, I don't like it. It's Let There Be Carnage. I thought it was There Will Be Carnage. Which honestly, Let There Be Carnage sounds worse to me than There Will Be Carnage. But either way, not a fan. I think you should have called it Venom Maximum Carnage. You already have that title. Sounds better, shorter. Just makes more sense. Let There Be Carnage. Just call it Venom 2 at that point.
It's not going to get me excited for the movie at any rate. So,
I feel like they've shot enough now that they should have put out a teaser announcing this title. Because they put out like a little video of like just the words coming up and like announcing the title. And I'm like, this is lame. You couldn't have put out like just something, just a 30-second teaser with Carnage or with Cletus, with Woody Harrelson, showing him and teasing Carnage. That's what you should have done, 30 seconds, and then put the title.
Oh.
Didn't do it. So I thought that was lame. Not too excited for this movie, although I did like the first one. I thought it was fun. I have a bad feeling about this one. I think it's going to be like Amazing Spider-Man 2 vibes. I think that's what we're getting into. But I don't know. Tom Hardy also teased on Instagram Spider-Man in Venom 2. Or whatever. I don't know. He keeps putting up pictures and deleting them, but he put up this picture of Venom with Spider-Man in his mouth and like eating him pretty much, and then took it down. What do you think this means? Do you think Spider-Man's in Venom 2 in any capacity? Do you think Venom's going to be in Spider-Man 3? Do you think it's just teasing for a future movie?
I think Spider-Man will be in it, but I don't know what he's going to be doing.
See, I don't think Spider-Man's in Venom 2. I don't want him in that, and I don't think it would make sense for him to be in it. Which, I mean, to be fair, we don't really even know the situation with Venom as far as like, is it in the same world as the MCU? And if it is, Venom came out in 2018. Like, how does the snap affect Venom? Are they going to address that in Venom 2?
Have to do something.
Because I feel like if you're making it a part of the MCU, the snap needs to be mentioned, not only in Venom 2, especially Venom 2, because you had the first one. And, like, was that after the snap, before the snap? I would assume it was after, and you're going to say that, because if not, this movie would have to be 5 years later.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know how they're going to handle all that. But, Spider-Man, spoilers, Spider-Man Far From Home ended with the world knowing his identity and setting him up as a villain, right? Like, to the world, like people looking at him like that. So I would assume Spider-Man 3 is going to be him on the run type situation. So I don't really see him in Venom 2. I more see situation where we're going to get Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which from what I've heard in rumors is that this essentially is an open door. Like this movie is not going to have a clear finish, and it's going to set up Venom 3, which is supposed to have Spider-Man in it. So like Carnage either wins or lives or whatever in this movie. Maybe Shriek, who's also going to be in this movie, she's like the main villain that gets defeated at the end of this one or whatever. And then I think maybe it's actually in the movie, but I would probably go with an after credit scene that you tease Spider-Man. And then in Spider-Man, what's that?
Still in the movie.
And then I think in Spider-Man 3, whatever it's going to be called, I think Venom is actually going to be in that in some capacity. Now,
I can hold my breath.
maybe not, because, and maybe you could say Venom 2 has the more option of having Spider-Man in it because it's a Sony movie in association with Marvel. And Spider-Man 3, well, it's the same thing, but it's more in the MCU than, I mean, they're both in the same world if they're doing that. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, Disney's involved with the Spider-Man movie. They're not involved with Venom. But I think it's more likely for Venom to be in Spider-Man for a couple of reasons. One, that way Disney gets to kind of control a little bit more of the relationship between Venom and Spider-Man. So that when Spider-Man is in Venom 3 in a larger capacity, you're already setting the groundwork of what you're going to get there. But also, if Spider-Man's on the run, I think they're probably setting up Sinister Six for, and I hope they're not really. I would rather see him go against Kraven in Spider-Man 3, but I kind of think it's going to be Sinister Six. Maybe Kraven will be a part of it. Don't know who it's going to be. But I think that's what they're going to do in the third film. And I think Venom will probably come in to help him fight the Sinister Six in the third Spider-Man film, which will then lead into Venom 2 with Spider-Man coming to help him fight Carnage.
Venom 3.
Venom 3, yes.
Awesome.
What did I say?
Venom 2.
Yeah. I think that'll set up Venom 3 with he'll come help him fight Carnage, because that's what we've had rumors. And I think it's interesting because Morbius and Venom have been pushed back. Morbius was supposed to come out in July, Venom's supposed to come out in October, and they've been pushed back to March and June. Now, this could just be a coincidence for release date reasons, but I think it's interesting that they made sure both of these movies are coming out still before Spider-Man 3, which might get pushed back as well. But right now, it's supposed to come out in July 2021. So, I mean, if you put Venom in June, and Spider-Man's coming out a month later, and you have an after-credit scene with Spider-Man in Venom, that's going to excite people, make people come to see that third movie. If they're not coming already, which they most likely already are if they're seeing Venom. They're definitely going to see Spider-Man. But I think that'll be cool. And I also wonder, I think probably they will have Morbius in Spider-Man 3 as part of that Sinister Six.
With Vulture.
It'll definitely be Morbius, Vulture, and Scorpion. Because you already.
I don't like that Scorpion. Just get him out of here, dude.
You already set him up in Homecoming, and the actor recently posted a picture of Scorpion, just like the comic thing. So he's definitely coming back.
God. So
that's 3 characters you already have for the Sinister Six right there. Shocker 2, if you decide you want to bring him back, that's 4. And then also you had that Dimitri guy in Far From Home, which could be Chameleon, and if so, that's 5. So
no Norman Osborn.
We'll see. That's where you come in with a 6th member and the leader of the Sinister Six, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. That's what I hope, but
you're not going to Green Goblin, dude.
Probably not. I don't know who the leader of the movie the Sinister Six would be, because I mean, I don't see Kraven. If you brought it, I think it'll be a new villain, but I don't see it being Kraven, leader of the Sinister Six. Maybe Doc Ock. Maybe they do that again.
Doc Ock and not Green Goblin, man.
I don't know, dude.
A bold move.
Yeah, well, they've made a lot of bold moves with that Spider-Man. So.
Yeah.
Last topic we have here. James Gunn recently revealed that a character is going to die in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. What you think?
Drax.
I don't think it's Drax. A couple different things. I was talking to Sarah about this the other day. And there's 3 characters I want to mention. Well, I'll go ahead and start with Drax. I don't think it's Drax because I don't think anybody cares.
Man.
I just don't.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it sure, Batista's wanted out of MCU, but that was because of James Gunn, what have you. I just don't. Yeah, I don't think anyone would care if he dies. I don't. Same thing with Mantis.
No, it's not Mantis.
No, I'm saying I don't think it's either one of them because I don't think people care.
I'm thinking of people who have had their arc already, and like you're not doing anything with it. It's not going to be Star-Lord, obviously. No.
I don't think it's Drax. Don't think it's Mantis. It's definitely not Gamora because we've already done that with Gamora. They're not, and this isn't even the same character. What have you? So there's 3 characters I want to mention. 3 possibilities. Number 1, I'll go ahead and mention is one that I will be pissed if it is, and I don't think it is. But people online have been speculating and saying they think it is this person, and that's Rocket.
No, can't see it.
They think it's Rocket because his character arc is going to be complete after this Guardians 3 because it's tying back into his origins and everything that James Gunn set up in the first movie, and he's already kind of talked about that and how he's going to have a big part in Guardians 3. So they think he's going to be the one that does it, that dies. First of all, like just in general, I'll be mad if that happens because he's my favorite member of the Guardians. He's also a raccoon. I don't see them doing that. I mean, honestly, like, do you see Disney doing that?
I just don't care.
That's like killing the dog off in the movie, and I don't think they did it with Chewie. They didn't do it with Chewie. I don't think they're going to do it with Rocket. Not only just because of kids, but also like toys. They've already lost Iron Man. I just don't think they're going to do it to Rocket. And also, yes, it's Bradley Cooper, but he only has to come in for like a little bit and record. He's not there. He doesn't do the motion capture for Rocket, you know.
Reason you don't make him do it.
What's that?
For whatever reason, you don't make him do the motion capture.
They just have Sean Gunn come in and he does it.
We pay you full price to do half the job.
So you can use Rocket in the future. It doesn't have to be in a Guardians 4, whatever. Like you can bring, and I think they're going to do that. I think they're going to have Rocket and Groot in other movies moving forward, other than Guardians. I think they'll continue with those characters because, I mean, Groot is essentially nobody. I mean, you have Vin Diesel, but honestly, you could just, you can't even tell that's Vin Diesel. I can't even, like, especially Baby Groot. So I don't even know what the situation with that. I don't care. But Rocket, people love him. You can put him in any movie moving forward now. So I don't think it'll be him. So there's 2 people. The person I think is most likely is Nebula. What do you think?
I think it's Drax. I said what I said.
I think that Nebula is the most likely. I've been saying that. I thought she was going to go in Infinity War, and it turned out not to be her. It turned out to be Gamora. And then I still had my bet Endgame. Didn't happen. So I'm still...
Well, she did die.
Not Nebula, though.
Yeah.
The 2014 version died, which that's not Nebula, though. That's just like I'm saying Gamora in Guardians 3 is not Gamora. That's a different... It's her name's Gamora. It's 2014, but that's not the same character that we've been following. And that's why I'm going to be really upset if we get Guardians 3 and we have another love story with Star-Lord and Gamora. Which I'll get to that in a second. I want to finish what I was saying about Nebula. I've been thinking that she's going to be like a sacrifice type thing in these movies, and it hasn't happened yet. I'm still going to say it's going to happen in Guardians 3. Also, if Rocket does have a big part of this film, maybe she does too, because they have a lot of similarities. So I feel like instead of killing him, you could probably kill her and still have it be like really impactful. And she's been in all these movies, but she's not a core Guardian, essentially. So
that's
I don't
why
know.
I think it's Drax. I think it's going to be a core Guardian.
The person, though, now, I like I said, I think it's Nebula. The person I think it should be, and I'm not counting it out, is Star-Lord.
No,
You don't think that because it's Chris Pratt.
I don't think it because he's the main character.
He's kind of the main character, but that's also a ensemble piece. But you also got to look at the fact that this is the last Guardians movie, or at least the last one that James Gunn is making. There could be a Guardians 4, but we know from the comics they switch up the roster too. They switch up that team. It doesn't have to be Star-Lord. Doesn't have to always be there. And they had the courage to kill Iron Man in Endgame.
20 movies later.
Well, I mean, look, how many movies have Star-Lord? He would have been in 5 movies after that point. But Endgame, Infinity War, and the 3 Guardians movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, I hope it's Star-Lord, because I think you
just don't like Chris Pratt.
No, that's not. I think it makes the most sense to do that, and I think it'd be the most impactful. Because one, like I said, I really hope they don't continue with the romance storyline between Star-Lord and Gamora, because it's not Gamora. Like, definitely, I read somewhere that part of the storyline is going to be them trying to find her in this movie, and I'm fine with that. But to me, it's like the person that you were in love with died.
Gone.
They died. They are gone, yeah. This is a different version of them, but it's not them. So, to me, that just takes away so much and, like, is weird if you try to, like, rekindle that, force this romance in. Like, I just don't like it. And the fact that his love is already dead, I really think you can tie into everything with him and his character arc in this film and have him make a sacrificial death at the end of this film.
I don't think he's earned it yet.
Because I also don't know, like, do you think they're going to use him moving forward if he doesn't die in the movie?
Probably.
I don't know. That's just my hope. I hope that happens at the end of the movie. And then that's a way, too, I mean, you got Chris Pratt in there, you take him out. Then the Guardians moving forward can be whatever you want. It could be Rocket, Groot, Gamora, Nebula, Drax, and Mantis. Or you could maybe Drax goes off and does something else. Whatever.
Yeah, he's going to go off and die.
Maybe they both die.
I'm betting on Drax.
Maybe. I don't know. I just, like I said, I don't think.
It's messed up. I don't care.
I mean, if this was Guardians 2, I could kind of see what you're getting at. Like, because Drax actually had like a more serious. He was funny, but he had a serious storyline in the first one, like hearing about his family and stuff. But at this point, it's like, unless you make him have a really big part in Guardians 3 in terms of like character depth. And
Roland's dead, and then now Thanos is. So I mean, those are the people that were responsible for killing his family.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. I just don't know. Like, you're also bringing in Adam Warlock.
Yeah, that annoys me. Like, James Gunn's like, I haven't confirmed that. What?
You know how annoying that's going to be if you get Guardians 3 and he's not in it?
Yeah.
Because you literally set that up at the end of Guardians 2.
You set him up, and I don't know if you're setting it up in Guardians 3, especially if this is the last Guardians. Like, you're definitely going to waste Adam Warlock if you're not going to use him more than that. Like, I would be interested if you set him up as a larger character.
Well, see, that's what I don't exactly know too much about Adam Warlock. He isn't a bad guy, right? He might start off as a bad guy, but
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't want him in just one movie as, like, big a character he is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you bring him in Guardians 3 and then you kill Star-Lord, then he could be more of that, fill that void moving forward.
I don't know.
Leading the Guardians or being a part of the Guardians.
Drax is out.
Star-Lord is going out. Probably not. Probably Nebula, but we'll see. All right, guys. That is our happy hour. That's all the topics we have this week to discuss. Don't forget to check back next week. We have a whole lineup of stuff coming out Monday through Friday, and every Friday we have happy hour, which is our movie news show. So we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.